Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with us today. She's a nail artist. Please welcome Julia Rumbarger. Hello, Julia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. That's awesome. Now, I want to go ahead and get started with where you're originally from and how'd you get started into the realm of nails?
So I'm from Austin. I'm an Austin local. I got started doing nails. I when I was like 14, I was like in middle school. I honestly literally never stopped after that. I did them like one time and then I was like, "Oh, this is fun. I'm going to do it tomorrow." And then I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow too." And I just kept doing it. And that was like 5 years ago. That was a long time. Well, I started working professionally 5 years ago, but yeah, it was a long time ago. And yeah, I just kind of stuck with it.
Oh, cool, cool. Who are like your favorite nail artists?
Well, I would have to say like for like top artists, I like Crocaine for sure. Definitely
Mhm.
Crow. Oh man, that's a tough one. There was this girl, she's done anything in a while, but her name was like Amy Wong or something like that. She
Yeah.
was really different. I really like Yuri. What is it? Yuri Osuka.
So you said Amy Wong and who were the other ones?
Crocaine and Yuri Osuka.
Okay, cool.
Crocaine is Crow Vargas.
Mm. Yeah, her work is pretty cool. Yeah, I like Spiffster's
Crocaine,
work.
something else. She's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
just really awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing. Cocaine, you have Spiffster, you have
Yeah.
Astro Wifey, you have a lot of these
Astro
different.
Wifey's awesome.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Her
I
stuff is really,
forgot
really, really
about
good.
her. Oh man, I feel like kind of out of the loop. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
like really checked up on anything in a while, but man, Astro Wifey's awesome.
yeah, yeah. And also to Amy Vega, she's pretty cool too.
Amy Vega. I don't think I know that name.
Yeah, she's also a nail artist and she does like these she's been doing like these press on nails. She's done like nail set based on like Jean-Michel Basquiat, but her nail work in general is pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, there was this other person that really inspired me a lot because whenever I started doing nails, I was just doing like natural stuff. I wasn't doing any kind of enhancement. And then I was just like doing like press on and just everything was with like acrylic paint. Like I wasn't even using gel. But there's this dude in Australia, Liam Peter Nails. He does some really badass press on. And yeah, he was like a big inspiration for sure.
Oh, that's really, really cool. Now, I've seen that you have like your own like prints and things like that. So, are you like an illustrator also, or you just do it as a
Um
hobby?
Yeah, so I draw. I've always been drawing and just making like I guess illustrations and pen and ink stuff, just paintings. I don't do it like in any kind of professional way besides like I guess nails. But no, I don't like illustrate for I guess work or anything like that. It's just something that I do.
Okay, cool, cool. I see that you sell your prints also. So, what are like your
Yeah.
favorite like artists in general, like contemporary artists?
Oh, that's an awesome question. My favorite, okay. So a lot of who I'm inspired by is tattooers. There's a girl in Poland. Her name is Marcelina Urbanska, and she's freaking amazing. I have a lot of her art, actually, like prints and stuff, and she's so unique. She's really different. Oh man, who else do I like? There's a lot of local tattooers. Like Austin has a really big tattoo scene. There's a lot of people down here that really inspire me. Um, Man, that's a good question. um, Sorry, I'm like looking for artists right now. There's this guy Mark Riddick. He does a lot of really like skull heavy stuff and just like more like what's the word? I guess like gory stuff. He recently did he was commissioned for Magic the Gathering, the card game. He did
Mhm.
like their special series of cards recently. He's awesome. He does a lot of album artwork. There's this guy, what is his name? What is it? Eddie or like Ed something. Ed Repka. He is a thrash metal artist for like metal bands and he does like pretty much all of the like recognizable like thrash metal art. You'd like know that it's done by him because it all looks the same. He's kind of like the Frazetta of like the thrash metal world. And
Mhm.
he has made some cool stuff. I don't know, I might be wrong about this, but I think he invented the I know that he did the, what are they called? The Megadeth mascot, Vic Rattlehead, the little skull with like the things coming out of his face. I know he did that one, and then I think he also did Iron Maiden's Eddie, the Iron Maiden mascot. But I'm not quite sure about that. But he's a huge inspiration too. Just like heavy metal art, tattoo art really inspires me. And I like to look back into like, I guess like just historical stuff too, like folk art and like the kind of stuff you'd see from like the Bible and just other like religious iconography. It's like it's really astonishing what people are able to do.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like I like, Salvador Dali. There's this other artist I looked at here and there. His name is Michael Hassar. He does like these like it's kind of like grotesque in a way type of art,
Mhm.
but it's like, these people like with clown type faces, like these paintings that he does.
Yeah, that's so familiar. I feel like I had an image in my head when you said that. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, his work is very interesting. There's another guy that I looked at his work for a while, for years, and his name is Alex Conahan, and he does like these cool,
Wait,
insects. So it's like this filigree style insect type of vibe going
let's
on.
see.
So it's pretty
Uh,
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So like, how could you describe your nail art style?
I guess the first word that came to mind was like freestyle. I like to not know what I'm gonna do until I do it and just kind of like jump into it. I like also, I'll put it this way, hand painting. I like to hand paint everything. I really, really am not too fond of using like decals and stickers and like rhinestones and stuff. I just would prefer to like make something my own, you know? And I
Hmm.
think it makes for a much better outcome. And I think it does make both parties happy. Like you and the client are both like more satisfied when the work is like original and it's all like even too, because with like stickers and stuff like that, it kind of creates more possibility for like, I guess, like hiccups in the work. And then I also kind of think like if you're not hand painting it, it's like anyone can do that, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that because I'm also a hand painter as well. I do a lot of hand painted stuff, whether it's with like acrylic paint or with gel,
Yeah.
because I think that's where I think most of the authenticity is when you actually hand paint it. When you use decals, pretty much it's like already like a copy and paste type of thing.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so it's really cool and more interesting when it's all hand painted. And I do use like stones from time to time, but for the most part, I like hand painted art because I see other artists that do hand painted work, and it's really really cool. And I'm also like a artist by heart, an illustrator, so I love when people have their own art style, and I think it's really really cool. Now, in terms of owning your own nail studio or salon, so you have the name called Two Good Hands Texas. So what has been your whole experience owning your own salon or studio?
It's been awesome. I really love it. I wish I had done it sooner, to be honest. Um, I mean, so far so good. It's awesome like having your own space and just being able to like everything you need is like 5 feet away from you and just like handling like your own books, talking to your own people, so on and so forth. Just like everything kind of being like under your control. I think it's awesome. Um, yeah, I really can't see myself not working like this from now on.
Yeah, yeah, that's really really cool. When you have your own space, it makes things a lot easier. Now, I
Absolutely.
want to get into like in terms of with licensing. So, what is your whole take in terms of like the education system in Texas, and what could be like improved in terms of no education?
Oh man, I mean the whole thing. I mean, it's pretty sparse, I guess like it's pretty half-assed, but I don't know. I mean, I think pretty much anywhere you go, the nail education is going to be like if like the nail education that's handled like by the state, like in terms of like how to get like a legal license and whatever, it's going to be like it's going to suck like anywhere you go. Like
Mm,
I think this is something that is I would like probably like 100% like on you. Like you have to do it yourself, really. Because like, I mean, beauty school is not gonna like teach you anything per se. You're gonna get your hours and you're gonna have it on paper that you did this, but it's not where you're going to like learn the skills that you need. It's not where you're gonna learn how to paint. That's for damn sure. Sorry, excuse my French. um,
Mm.
um, yeah, I mean, for it to be improved, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like the whole thing is just so like outdated. It's very like in the 60s. I guess I'll start there. Like they could get rid of a lot of stuff. They're teaching a lot of things that like you just don't use. Like the times have obviously changed and like we only get like more advanced and like nails like any other art or any other trade. It just like every day there's something new. Like someone one up the last person and so on and so forth. And it's just like the game just gets harder and it gets crazier and it gets more competitive. And they're teaching stuff in beauty school, like they're talking about like nail wraps and stuff like that. It's like no one even knows what that is. Like nobody uses those. I think if they were just they could just start by being more like up to date. Like what do you really do in a salon? Like what are people really gonna ask you for? Like, and I think a lot of it, I think there should be a lot more training and focus on like dealing with clients, and like, because that's like the biggest learning curve. You can be like a 5-star, like top-notch artist, but if you don't know how to talk to people, like, you're gonna go from here to here, you're gonna get knocked back down. That's the
Mhm.
hardest part, I would say. Like, that is the biggest learning curve. It's just like using the right words and being friendly and being good company and entertaining and then talking about price in like an appropriate way. Yeah, and then like pushing your enforcing your boundaries and stuff like that because people, I mean, people really will like try to take advantage. It's crazy. Like they
Mhm.
have no shame. Like,
Mhm.
um yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with that, because of course they don't teach you a lot with how to deal with different clients. They don't get in depth about how to, maintain owning a salon or owning a nail studio. How you said, things have to be up to date. So it's like with the current of what's going on now. You know what I mean? So it's a concept of it being, to help you get well prepared for the nail industry. And of
Mhm.
course, they worry about more so, okay, you got to obtain this amount of hours to pass, but it's way more than that. And so it kind of forces you to kind of learn a lot of stuff on your own. And for me, I went to high school and it offered cosmetology courses during like my sophomore to my senior year. We only learned like a small part of nails. So I had to learn a lot of that stuff on my own. So I think it's just like how you said, it has to be more in depth about owning a salon, especially talking about insurance, documentation, inventory,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that, those important things, blood spill or, safety and sanitation, especially how to take care of different types of clients. So that's, I think that's very, very important.
Yeah. Beauty school is very like stuck in the 50s. It's just not realistic with how things really are. Um but yeah, I mean, I had a good experience still.
Mm, yeah, yeah, me too. I can agree with that in terms of beauty school. Now, in terms of like when someone is promoting their own nail artwork, what are some ways someone can market and sell their nail art?
Oh man, the biggest, most helpful thing for me personally was Instagram. I'm not gonna lie, like unfortunately, social media is like really makes or breaks your advertising abilities.
Mm,
Um I think now the thing, like I don't use it personally, but I think now the thing is like gonna be TikTok. Not that Instagram isn't still gonna work, but TikTok is probably the better thing to get involved with first. Um yeah, honestly, you just really have to be on the internet like 24/7. And then like taking a good photo because things like Instagram and TikTok and just pretty much anything that is accessible by phone and is like a thing that we're on all day, that's 100% eyes. That is your eyes communicating with an image. If that image
mm,
doesn't look good, that no one cares what you did. So like it really, really, really matters a lot. I mean, like I don't like that it matters so much because it's a lot of work to like learn how to take good photos, but like that photo quality is like super dependent on how far your work is gonna go. So social media is a big one. Word of mouth too, I would say, like just going out and just going to shows, being around people, I guess like networking. Those are the two biggest things for me. I haven't tried a whole lot else, to be honest. I couldn't really tell you what other ways there are to advertise.
Mm. Well, I mean that's totally fine, but I definitely believe, and I can definitely agree that social media is
Yeah,
one of the ways to go in terms of promoting yourself. And of course, like how you said before, like presentation and taking good photos, that makes a huge difference. Especially if someone is selling like if you're selling like press on nails, presentation is important. The quality of the
yeah,
photo is very important. The way you present your work is very, very important. So it is very, very important in terms of like how you said word of mouth, like how you said is just putting yourself out there, you know,
yeah, yeah,
and it may be a little scary, but but you want your work to be out there. So you got to take
yeah,
the leap of just saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and
yeah.
that's the thing.
You really do have to take like any opportunity presented to like blast yourself. The
Mm,
thing about Instagram is like knowing how to use it, not just like posting a photo, but like the photo has to be good and you have to have the right hashtags. Like hashtags are a big one. Those have been super helpful from the start. You have to like, I think you should be using the full amount of hashtags that you're allowed to use. And you should be like you should know which ones are like the active hashtags, like what are the words that are gonna like spread your photo. Um, then like tagging people, just like all the products you use, anyone and everyone, like any magazine for nails, like anything that could promote you, just tag them. Like for no reason, just tag them in your photo so that they
mhm,
can see it. Yeah, just reach out to people. Honestly, I spent so much time on Instagram. I guess that was just like I guess like I kind of more or less like grew up on Instagram, but like I've
mm,
been on it for a long time and like I learned a while ago how to utilize it to promote myself. But yeah, word of mouth is a big one too. Just handing out your card when you can. Stickers are great. Take stickers everywhere and put them on everything. like be annoying about it. Make sure everybody sees your sticker.
mm,
Yeah, going around, and then like finding other artists to like connect with, and maybe not necessarily other nail artists, but like you can make a connection with like tattooers and piercers and anybody in like modification, really, because or any kind of artist, like illustrators and screen
mm.
printers and stuff. Like these are like you're an artist just like them. You're all artists, period. So if you just get connected with like your community and the art people around you, then like that will really help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what's your take in terms of pricing? How does one price one's nail art?
I personally am more fond of a by the hour charge. I don't do that right now. I hope to move into that before the year ends, preferably before the summer. But what I did really is I was at a salon for like 4.5 years, and I wasn't doing my own prices and stuff, but I did like when I felt like I should be making more, like when I was working harder, then I would raise my prices. And I got to a point where like I don't like do the math per se to get down to like the exact decimal. I'm just like, okay, this would be like if I break it down, like this is how much I made an hour if I charge this much. And then there's that on top for like a removal or whatever else. And then yeah, that's kind of how I do it. So when I went on my own, I just took the prices I already had. I just left it at that. But definitely like if there's art on it, it should never be less than $100. It should always be at least $100. And then also it depends on like your area and what all your expenses are. Because right now I don't have like I'm like nothing crazy. It's just like me in my studio. It's not like I have employees or anything. So right now what I'm making works out. But I mean if I was in like LA or something, I would have to charge more. It just it's gonna be very different for everyone depending on like how much work you're doing, what your expenses are, and then like where you live.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe that you got to price high for your artwork, especially if you spend a lot of time on it. Especially
Yeah.
with press on nails and things like that. You got to charge, what you're worth, like higher because this is quality stuff, like using products, different
Yeah.
materials, and things like that. And especially considering, people don't consider like the expense of the product. Like, say for instance, if you're using like Madam Glam polish would be like maybe $20.
Yeah.
or if you're using like a C&D shellac, it's like $17. So, I think people got to consider the expenses and how much time it takes to create a body of work on nails.
Yeah, and I think that actually is something that has kind of always like rubbed me the wrong way with nails is that nails are so traditionally, I guess like in the eye of the public, there's just seen as like it's like bitch work. You know what I mean? Like people think nails are like the bottom level of like, oh, you only do this if you're like a poor immigrant, you don't speak English or something dumb like that. And it's like this is like the same amount of art and this is like the same level of art that like an illustrator's doing, an animator's doing, a tattooer's doing. Like, but I think because it's not a permanent thing,
Mm,
it's so much harder to sell. Like people are just and again, because of its reputation and everything, it's so hard to like move people out of thinking that way. And it's like, yeah, this isn't gonna be on forever, but you still want me to do a ton of work. So you have to pay me the same amount that you're paying that other person who's also doing a ton of work.
hmm yeah, that's the thing with that. Yeah, nails, has been over undervalued.
Always,
Like
yeah.
like how you said at the bottom, and we're still undervalued.
Yeah, it's
This is
crazy. It's
mm,
really crazy. I hope just like in my whole career of doing this forever, how, for how long I decide to do it, that I can like at least make a dent in that mentality that I really want to like do something about that, you know?
mm. Yeah, and I definitely agree with that because I think, and the thing is with nails, if you think about it, it's nothing but canvas, just like any other
Yeah.
canvas. I mean, you're putting art on a canvas, like if you're doing like no matter if it's a big canvas, if you're doing it digitally, it's nothing but canvas. It's all the same thing. Like everything has a canvas, including nails. So, I think that most definitely we should be charging our worth and our value and not, undercharging, because of course, considering
Mhm.
you have things, expenses to pay and things like
Yeah.
that. So that's something people have to consider. I want to get into nail care and nail health. So how important is for a nail artist to understand nail care and especially the health of the nails?
I think that's like the foundation of everything.
Mm,
I think, I mean, I was really heavy on that. I was really like into that when I was still learning how to do nails and just kind of doing them on my own before I had gone to beauty school or anything. Because I was doing like all natural nail, right? Because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't doing enhancements. And I was like in high school, I was just painting with whatever I had at the house, which was like Hobby Lobby paint. So my nails had to be like really well taken care of to keep painting them as often as I was. So I got really into like just natural nail care and just like general health and stuff and like all the different things like all those different like I wouldn't say diseases, but like green nails and like the little white things that show up. I got really
right.
into that kind of stuff. I do think that is like the building block of like everything else because it's like if you plan on doing like acrylic and you're gonna have clients that come back every month to get it filled again, what good is that acrylic if their nails are trash when they come back because
Mm-hmm.
you're overfiling them or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's it's like where everything starts is like you can't keep dyeing someone's hair if their hair is like destroyed and just needs to be cut off. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't just keep covering it up. So I think that is like the heart of everything. I mean, the only way that I think you wouldn't have to know that is if you were just like strictly press on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You got to understand nail prep, and that's very, very important. And you can't overfile the nail because otherwise you're doing further damage, and it
Mm.
gets thinner and thinner because you're peeling off layers of that natural nail, and which can lead to damage. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the thing. So some people, a lot of us have to understand that nail care is very important. It's very vital, if anything. It's like building a house. You got a foundation
Yeah.
before you do everything else. Because you can have very good nail art, but the foundation is not very up to par. So you have to make sure that foundation is well established before you do anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the
I
thing with
agree.
that. Now I want to get into your favorite nail mediums. What has been like your favorite nail products to use when doing nails?
Definitely Cocoist gel, the Japanese gel. I at my salon that I started at, that was like primarily what we carried. and I just love cocoa. Like the all the gels are potted, all the art ones, and they have like their color palette is like huge. Like it just never ends. Like the kind of options they have, and they're all really rich. They're like really pigmented, you know? I really like colors that are just like really intense. Like they only take like one coat and they're just like
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like when something is like even mildly transparent. You know, I want the color to be like very prominent. And that's what Cocoist is. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like not even too expensive because most gels like Vitro and stuff, it'll be like 15 to 20 bucks. Cocoist is like 10 bucks for a pod. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So I use that mostly. I mean, that's like 90% of what I use for art. I have a couple Young Nails Mission Control.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really good too. If it like for starting, I would 110% recommend those. Um, they have a good color palette. It's like really different. They don't have like, I mean, in the ones in the Mission Controls that they sell, they don't do like primary, secondary, like tertiary. They just have like the most random like Play-Doh kind of colors, and
Mm-hmm.
they're super fun. Um, I used Vitro a little bit. There's some Vitro colors really like, but I'm not too big on them. And then the gel bottle is a good one too. But for the most part, it's Cocoist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for me, it's been like I use like CND, I use Presto Gel. I got into Entity beauty gel polishes, so that's been really, really cool. And also I like 3D gel. 3D gel is pretty cool to work with. Because you can use it a little bit easier than like regular like gel. Like with acrylic, like the thing with acrylic and gel is like gel, you have a lot of time to really maneuver with it. With acrylic, not so much. That's why I like gel better. So I'm like a gel person.
Mhm.
I started working with like acrylic paint to do art and also just do pen and ink as well on nails. So that's the thing with me as well. So in terms of the beauty industry, what's your take on the whole progression of the beauty industry, and what would you like to see within the beauty industry?
Um, I think just the way it's evolved and keeps evolving, it's like kind of surreal almost. I do have moments where I'm like, I just kind of think about, I'm like, wow, this is like really my life. Like, this is the industry that I'm involved in, and like, there's so many badass people out here.
Mm,
Um, I mean, it gets so exciting, is what
mm,
that's my take on it. It's so exciting. It's like, I guess as just like humanity evolves and like our technology gets crazier and like we just start like hitting milestones we never thought as like a human race we'd like would achieve, but like things just get crazier and crazier as time goes on and like art's gonna go up with it and like the bar is constantly being raised and like oh my god the stuff I've seen people do, I'm like I can't believe somebody did that on nails. Like that's crazy. I
mm,
think it's really exciting. I think it's fun. I think it leaves like I think it creates an attitude of like I guess like anything is possible or like anything goes, you know, like nothing is even gonna be like that shocking anymore, you know, with like the kind of stuff that like Nail Sunny and people like that are doing, like you can do anything you want and it's
right.
awesome and like someone's gonna enjoy it. Like plenty of people are gonna enjoy it. Someone's probably gonna pay for it. Like it's just really cool. Like you can just keep pushing the envelope and there's like no stopping point. Like at what point is it gonna be like, okay, nails aren't cool anymore? You know? Like I don't think that'll
Mm.
ever happen. Um I'm sorry, what was your second question?
It
The
was
progression.
what would you like to see in the nail
Oh,
industry?
I would like to see a lot more respect, like in terms of like I was saying earlier, like nails are just traditionally like people think it's like bottom level, like you do that if you're like poor and dumb or something like that. And it's like, I mean, God, just with like my personal like just in moments of like telling someone that you do nails and they're like, "Oh," and like their whole attitude changes. You know, they start kind of treating you a little bit different. They start talking to you different. Their tone changes and you know that they're thinking less of you because of that.
Mhm.
And it's like, "No, dude, I'm not doing like $20 pedicures. I'm doing like $100 nails and up. Like, I mean like nails like." And I think it's just crazy to me like how much work and talent and skill and everything that these artists are putting into this and people are still like they just I don't know, they just have a certain mentality about it that I just think is like it's just like rude. And I would like to
Mhm,
see like I would like to see more respect for these
mhm,
people and more money for everybody too. Because like I know a lot of people undersell themselves, and that is a hard thing to like overcome and like get through. Is like there's definitely like a little bit of anxiety before like telling someone what something costs. Because like people are crazy, and you never know who's just gonna like flip shit and like flip the table over or something. Like you never know who you're gonna be dealing with.
mhm. Yeah, I
You
could
know?
definitely agree with that, because it should be looked at as, like I said, there again, just as much of an art as anything else. And
Yeah.
especially with the beauty industry, especially in the nail sector of the beauty industry, it's improved a lot. I can agree with that. Like, cause I started around, the same age, like 14 years old, doing nail art and just getting into, the more of the realm of nails when I was like 15 and 16, and to now I'm 25. So, it's just a lot of stuff has changed. A lot of stuff has improved, like from the products to the UV lamps to the different ways of how to service a client, doing nail services. So, and a whole ton of like different nail shapes, you get familiar with is not just like square or like oval or almond. You got these cool extreme shapes. You have people doing nail murals, there's nail competitions out. So that's what I like in the nail industry, because it's so much, and it has become broader, and
Hmm.
it's so like really, really cool to see.
Yeah, that's true. I think that is definitely kind of like a struggle with I guess like anything in beauty, like hair and like skin or like eyebrows or whatever. I think because all that is like attached to beauty, it sort of has like people just kind of see it as like superficial or like silly or like bougie or like unnecessary. All these dumb things, but it's like
Mhm.
again, like this is an art form like any other. It's just a different kind of canvas.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, how would you define success?
How would I define success? I think that is super personal for everyone. I think that truly you can ascend to your highest aspiration. Like, I really firmly believe that, like, your thoughts are going to sort of, shape the reality in front of you. If you have, like, motivated, driven, like, encouraging, like, I'm going to do this, it's going to get done by this time, I'm going to check this box by this day kind of mentality, then like results show up. And when you think the opposite, then the opposite happens. Like, I mean, success for me is just like, just making myself happy, like feeling good about my work and my life and my relationships and just feeling like all those things that I was dreaming about doing years ago, I'm doing them.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, defining success is it's different for everyone. Like if your biggest goal is to hop a train and go off the grid, then you can do that and then you've succeeded. Like that's
Right.
it.
Mhm.
It can only be defined by like yourself. There's absolutely no amount of money that's going to make you successful. There's no amount of things that you can have or like the amount of people that you know or whatever. Um, yeah, it's definitely not something that I think can be influenced by anyone else's opinion. Because,
Mhm.
like, your life is about you at the end of
Right.
the day. So, no one else can tell you what's going to make you successful or not.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, how you define success is up to you. And that's what I like about this question, because everybody's answer is different. It's not the same. And the
Hmm.
thing is that another part to success is about maintaining work ethic. And I think that maintaining like self-care is very important, and maintaining your mental health. And I think that's very, very important. And I like how with our generation, a lot of people are so vocal about it now, the importance of mental health, and especially
Hmm.
having a support system. So I think that's very important as well.
It's really awesome to see that happen. I do think a lot about like generational things, like my generation, because I'm fairly young. I'm 22, so like I'm a Gen Z, and then my siblings are millennials, and then I have like tons of older friends, and just like noticing the differences between like how we all just like oh God, like thinking about like what like older people it was like not okay to talk about like, oh, I'm struggling or like, oh, I'm going to therapy. It's like you just couldn't talk about it. And now like
Mhm.
people my age is like everybody knows if you're in therapy, like everyone's in therapy. Like
Mhm.
it's just I think it's cool that we finally kind of like drop that facade, you know? Like we kind of were like, okay, enough with like the smoke show. Like this is silly. We're all humans here. Let's just talk about it. Let's just be vocal about like taking better care of ourselves.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad there's like a big community that's really, talking about mental health and how important that is and how important it is to have a support system. Because the thing is, we're all human beings, and that's something we have to understand. And we all go through things. We all have problems that we go through, our struggles and obstacles that we have to overcome. So I think that, definitely maintaining that self-care is the way to maintain a work ethic.
Mm-hmm. Work ethic is everything for sure. And there's really no substitute for genuine interest. I
Mhm.
think when you just really like to do something with like a little bit of like organization, the work ethic just kind of like comes with it, you know? Because
Mhm.
it's not even like necessarily work at that point. You just love doing a certain thing. So you just do it all the time.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, really like stuff like I think a lot of artistic things, artistic trades that you can make a really, really awesome career in life out of.
Mhm.
I think that is going to require that you just really like to do it, like sincerely and honestly, because if you didn't, like, you can't do it forever because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And if you're really not motivated by sincerely wanting to do it, then it's not going to happen.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're not passionate about it, it's not going to mean anything.
Yep.
So, of course, success, is having passion for what you do and especially being happy doing it. So I definitely believe that wholeheartedly. Now, last but not least, how do you balance work and everyday life?
Um, I have to be very self-controlled about a lot of things. You really have to manage your time, you really do. And then I try to keep personal life like less things going on there because I mean work is like my priority.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so you really have to budget your time and learn how to say no too, because like
Hmm.
I would probably be like a train wreck professionally if I was like saying yes to everything and like going out all the time, like hanging out with my friends all the time. Like, you really do have to get good at like, I can't do this tonight. I have to go to the gym or like, I have to cook a meal or all this and all that.
Right.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Back to like the self care thing. You really do have to take care of yourself, like physically, because this kind of stuff is painful
Hmm.
after a long time. Like, yeah, you really do have to like set schedules and then really stick to it because if you don't go to the gym like one day a week, then and then you try to go back into work like 4 or 5 days that week, then like by the end of the week, like you're crying because you're in so much pain. Like, so you do have to have enough self-discipline, like, okay, here's my downtime. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to be productive? Am I going to do something that's good for me? Or am I going to like watch TV or something like that? Um, yeah, that's how I balance like work and everyday life is just having self-control and just knowing, honestly, like knowing what happens when you don't do the thing you know that you should do. Because I know what happens if I don't do yoga, or I know what happens if I don't lift weights. I'm gonna be in pain and it's gonna suck.
Where can people find you on social media?
So my Instagram handle is Two Good Hands Texas, TX, and two like the number two. I pretty much only have that. Yeah, I do have a Facebook page, but I really don't use it very much. I'm pretty much just Instagram. Yeah, you can find me there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for jumping onto the show. Like your work is
Yeah, for
absolutely
sure.
incredible. Your
Thank
work
you.
is so detailed and really, really cool. So thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing your knowledge and your story. And thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate it.
fun. I definitely agree with that. Well, take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.